Every week I see the same argument, just add PvE mode. As a developer, I think that sounds simple only if you ignore what Arc Raiders really is. Hi, I'm Jemo. I'm a game developer with 13 years of experience, lifelong gamer, and I love Arc Raiders. This is not a PvE players bad video. This is about why your preferred mode can be valid and still be wrong for the game's core design. First, listening to players is really harder than it looks. Feedback is valuable, but players are very often guided with emotion. They describe pain, not the correct solution. For example, you're playing very nice raid, you found good blueprint, maybe you found 2 blueprints, and it's enough for you to keep it in your hidden pocket, and you play with fellow PvE people on the server. You're extracting, and there is this rat. He throws 3 grenades at you. You all melt. He's laughing through the proximity chat, and you're like, oh. And imagine you have not died and played another 10 hours and nothing really different happens. There is no tension, there's no risk, there's no uncertainty. Yes, a lot of people maybe would like this idea of a game, but this is not Arc Raiders in a current state. Arc Raiders is very much oriented around the tension. The core gameplay systems are specifically created around the tension. Not only the tension against players, but against PvE as well. People who are very loud very often are not in a majority. In extraction games, frustration is actually part of the loop, right? Part of the game. Obviously, too much frustration makes people churn and uninstall. But lack of frustration is not good either. People are obviously experts about how they feel, but the designers are responsible for turning that into real game systems. A very important thing to remember is that Arc Raiders is not PvE game with PvP addition. The very core of the game is, am I able to trust this person? Do I think that there is a possibility that they will turn on me? Maybe that's a good idea for me to kill them because they might have this Tempest blueprint. And this uncertainty creates stories. Betrayal, mercy, negotiation, accidental alliances, revenge, rescue. Remove PvP entirely and you remove not just combat, but social risk. So then, why just making a separate PvE and PvP modes in Arc Raiders? The game that is right now in our hands is not even close to simple. Without PvP entirely, the rewards should be most probably totally different, recalculated from the beginning. Because the rewards would be a lot different, people would start to say that now the rewards are bad, and the developers would say, yeah, but you don't have this tension of dying to random encounters with people, but that would sound like an excuse that they didn't design the game properly. There's Very important topic about matchmaking that is a base for understanding why this is also a problem. In any given moment, there have to be enough players for the game to start. That means each map, right now in our creators, we have 6 maps. Each map has 2 game modes, so that's 12 per region. So each time there has to be 12 separate lobby, at least 12 separate lobbies for people to play. That's required by how matchmaking systems work. So if Embark made PvP and PvE modes separate, it would even multiply this by 2. So that's another problem. You can then say, okay, but some parts of the game can be PvE and some parts of the game can be PvP, so there's no need to make 2 times more lobbies at the same time. Well, yes, but that would require rebuilding the entire game, basically. And then pure PvE would have to be a lot more handcrafted, right? Because right now it's the people and the fact that they can fight each other or not fight, this different stories that are created between different people create the content. Without PvP, it would be just, let's go, guys, and kill this arc, and then we'll kill that arc. And it wouldn't, it wouldn't feel the same way in terms of the stories that are created. And then for the AI, I mean the robots, right, would have to be a lot more complicated. They would have to be a lot more pumped with content. And this is just a lot of more work to do. Now, I'm gonna be honest here. This is a part that not everybody is going to like. But PvE needs different type of players. Not everybody should be a killer, and not everybody should be friendly. The game works because people have different mixed motives. And brutally said, PvP players need ship. But that sentence is also why designers have to be careful. If peaceful players feel like content for predators, they'd just quit. The goal is not farming sheep. The goal is preserving uncertainty. But PvP players sometimes need an easy kill. Because in PvE spectrum of the game, the PvP encounters are rare. And if you learn how Arc works, how enemies work, your survivability is a lot higher. Now, why? It is because Arc is not getting better in time. I mean, it is getting better a little bit, and they buffed it a little bit. But that's not the same as PvP ladder. When you're fighting Arc, you're learning how they behave, right? You know that you need to shoot the wasps' propellers. You know exactly how to kill shredders, how to avoid their shots. You know exactly where are the ticks in which room, etc., etc. You have all this figured out. And then you just don't die. And if you don't die, you have like about, for example, 80% or 70% win rate. By win rate, I mean you extract it. But in PvP world, it's a lot different. It's, In perfect PvP world, where the two teams collide, there should be a 50% win rate for system to be stable. And obviously in game like Arc Raiders and Battle Royales, you're losing most of the time. And when you have those two systems, where in PvP game you lose most of the time, in PvP spectrum you lose most of the time, and in PvE spectrum you win most of the time, neither of this is good. You want to have something closer to the center. That's why it should be mixed. Now, Embark may obviously tune matchmaking. They might tune aggression-based matchmaking. They might even mix all the players together. But it is very, very unlikely that they make it just PvE or just PvP. It's mostly because in today's market, making games is really very hard. Most of the games fail. And when Embark was having the tests of this game, when they introduced PvP, that was most probably their most important decision, which made the game the hit that it is right now. And due to the fact that designing games is very hard because there's no one blueprint for that, pun intended, they're just most probably not gonna risk anything close to anything like that. Because full same progression PvE mode would fight the game's identity, economy, and matchmaking. So you are allowed to want to a pure PvE. That doesn't make you stupid. But wanting something does not automatically mean that the game needs it, right? Arc Raiders became Arc Raiders because danger can come from machines, people, and space between them. And I really believe that Embark knows how to make it even better and make it the best game in the world. Thank you very much. If you liked that video, leave a comment. Tell me if you agree with me or if you don't. Leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other in the next one. Thank you.